Hello, my name is Roxy and I am the crafter behind Rox's Craft. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is the third video of the series where I document what I make every week in preparation for an event that I will be vending at on the 13th of June. So welcome aboard, and I will be going over everything that I've made this past week. So following on from last week's video, I had finally been able to finish all the 16 turtles that I was making. I don't have them here currently with me right now because they are all in the container that I will be storing them in until it's ready to go to the event in June. I will insert a clip right now just to show you all of them in the container as proof that I have finished them. So inserted clip, I guess. These are all the 16 Ninja Turtles, all done and dusted. I've kind of stacked them nicely so I can, you know, stack some more crocheted items once I'm done in this container. But yeah, they're basically all done. I am so relieved. I felt like they took me forever. I'm so happy just to finally have them done and dusted so I can, you know, tick off something really big from my to-do list. Yay! And fingers crossed they're popular this time around just as they were last time. And yeah, that's really it. Catch you back in the usual spot. So welcome back. So as you can see, 16 turtles done at long last. I won't go over how I made them, you know, in regards to the yarn, the hook size, etc, as I've already covered that twice in the previous videos. So we will skip ahead onto the next item that I was able to complete this week. So as I made mention, I have a work colleague that has unfortunately resigned. It's very sad to see them go, and as I also made mention last week, they love pandas, and I managed to finish the little panda that I wanted to make for them. So I have here on a little post-it note of everything that I used, because last time I kept, you know, making it's basically saying the wrong sizes for the eyes and etc. So this little guy or girl, don't know, little pudgy little bear, this was made with a 5mm hook. It is made with the super soft Feels Like Bliss Lion brand yarn. It was the first time that I have used it, and honestly it was surprisingly easy, way easier than previous yarns or fluffy yarns that I have used. The eyes are 16mm sinker eyes, and I just used the standard glitter backing that came with the safety eyes. The nose is a felted 18mm safety nose, and obviously I had just used some DMC cotton yarn just for the little detail of the mouth. And yeah, in total it took me about 3 hours and 37 to make, 3 hours and 37 minutes obviously to make. He was pretty quick, and he comes with a little tail and little ears. The arms and the legs are and the ears are crocheted in, while the only thing that you have to sew is the head to the body and the little tail at the end. The tail is a little bit lower than what the pattern suggests or recommends you do, but that's only because I found, you know, for the little panda to sit, the tail needed to be there for it to like lean against. If the tail was a bit too high up, it kept falling down, and it was a bit frustrating, so I moved the tail down a little bit. The artist or the pattern designer for this little panda is Amigurumi Estonia from Etsy. I'll have the name up on the screen and also down in this description. It was a fairly easy pattern to make. Yeah, really easy to follow, clear instructions. There was even QR codes and YouTube links that you could click into, and you could follow the video to make sure that you're doing something correctly. But overall, I am so happy with it. He is so cute. I love the little nose and the little pink eyes. I chose pink because that's the co-worker's favorite color. And yeah, overall, so stoked. Like, very, very cute. And yeah, I can't wait to gift this little panda to them either this week or next week. So off to the next one, I guess. So next pattern, I really, like I said, need to start prepping for the event that's coming up. However, I saw that Crochet by Mishka had another pattern tester call, and I saw that it was Levi from Attack on Titan, or Shingeki no Kyojin. I am an OG watcher from 2013, and so I could not pass up on doing Levi for her. So obviously I put my name down because I had already previously tested for her 2 other times. She accepted me, hallelujah, and I actually made him all of yesterday, and he's done and dusted, so I can actually show him part of my weekly makes. So here he is, little Levi from Attack on Titan. The hair came up a little bit funky, but that's more my sewing skills than the actual pattern. He's got his little cape on, which can be removed. I've just knotted it at the front, and then he's also got a little jacket that can be removed as well. But honestly, just like her other patterns, it was so easy to make, a really, really fun time, and because it's a beloved character for me, it flew by, super easy, and I loved every single minute while making it. So the yarns that I used is completely from Hobby, so it was a mixture of Honey Bunny and Toucan. I don't quite remember what was what, but I used a 5mm hook, as I always do with chenille yarns. The eyes are 14mm safety eyes, and I had used the folk art metallic sterling silver for his eyes, because Levi does have silver eyes, or more like gunmetal eyes, but I found that the darker grey was a bit too dark and it kind of came off as black, so I rather used the sterling silver. Overall, he took me 4 hours and 28 minutes to make, and like I said, I am so chuffed with him, and he is just too cute. And again, the person that wrote this pattern is Crochet by Mishka. Again, I'll have it up on the screen and also in the description. I believe the pattern will be released next week, and yeah, look out for it. I highly recommend. It's got a lot of parts, but honestly, if you like Attack on Titan and you like Levi, go for it. It's honestly one of its kind, like one of the firsts. There's hardly any Attack on Titan patterns out there for crocheting, so it's so nice to actually see one, and yeah, it was a blast. And so yeah, I'll kind of show you the other things that I made this week. I did 3 different little tests to see how I should, or what yarn I should use for my axolotl keychains going forward. As previously I used Parfait Chunky and I only did in pink Parfait Chunky for the little axolotl keychains that I have. However, at the moment it's quite hard to get some certain colors of Parfait Chunky because there seems to be some stock issues. And yes, I know I have bought many yarns for I guess axolotls and stuff, but I kind of just wanted to play around with some other yarns to see if, you know, see if I could make do with other yarns that I have in my stash that I really need to use up. So this particular pattern is by Stitch by Faye. It's a completely free pattern, so you just go on their blog and it's written there. However, you can buy a PDF copy if you wished from there. So this was the first one that I made, just slightly bigger than the others. This one I had used Patty's Plush, or from Patty's and Bango. I had used a 4.5mm hook with 9mm safety eyes, and I had used the colors Honey Eater and Little Thornbill for the accent yellows, and turned out pretty cute, but I fear that it's a little bit big. Personally, what I would consider a keychain. I wanted something a little bit smaller, so yeah, I thought 4.5mm is maybe a bit too big, so I went ahead and sorry, I'm checking my notes down there. I went ahead and I made another one with Patty's and Bango plush. This time I used a 4mm hook, again with 9mm safety eyes. The colors that I had used was Bowerbird and Fairy Vern, I think it is. It used lesser yarn and obviously the black cotton for the little mouths. It used less yarn, and it is perhaps just that smidge smaller. You can't really tell, but I found this one was, yeah, a little bit better. Maybe still a little bit bigger than the Parfait Chunky one that I was using previously, but I quite like it. And what I like about Patty's and Bango is that the yarn is a little bit more of like a blanket yarn rather than the soft velvetiness of a Parfait Chunky. But yeah, I quite enjoyed that particular one. And then last but not least, I tried with Yarnsmith because I had some extra pinks, and honestly I quite like it. It's the most similar size to Parfait Chunky, and while yes it has that same velvety feel as Parfait Chunky, I actually really enjoyed it, and I like that there's more combinations of colors that I can do, because Yarnsmiths has a very light pale yellow and a darker yellow similar to Patty's Plush, so I'm quite happy with that. So again, for this one I used a 4mm hook. The eyes are 9mm. I have some cotton, and the two colors that I used was light pink and candy floss pink. And overall I'm really happy with this, and I think going forward I will make it out of Yarnsmith's chenille. However, like I said, I have a couple more skeins left of Patty's and Bango, so I'll just make tons with Patty's and Bango until I run out of yarn, and then I'll make a start with Yarnsmiths. So yeah, I managed to make these 3 just to test, see if, you know, what kind of texture I like the best and what hook size to use, but I think I'm going to be sticking to these 2 going forward. Yay! And then I did one more kind of test just to see something, and here it is. Little Lumi from the new Mario Galaxy movie. Of course, everybody's making Lumi at the moment, or Luma, I should say. The correct term is Luma. Sorry, I'm just turning over my page from my book. So this particular pattern is the very viral one from my_universe 64. It's a free pattern from Etsy, and just about everybody is making it currently. and I had used the new Spotlight Value Ball yarn, and it came out as a very decent size. I used a 5mm hook, and it honestly glided like butter. This yarn is so lovely to actually work with, and the eyes are 16mm kawaii oval eyes, and I thought that suited it very well. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it worked out very well. Obviously I accidentally sewed the arms a little bit skew, but obviously, you know, this is going to be my copy to keep going forward. So yeah, because I bought quite a lot of colours of the new Value Ball, I will probably be making some yellow, some purple and some blue ones. Unfortunately I don't have the correct green colour, but I'm very chuffed with this, so I'm looking forward to perhaps making two of each colour and kind of see how that goes. So that was everything that I made this week. I also have some brilliant news. My friend that I made 2 dolls and a little bird plushie for had received their parcel. I cannot believe that it only took a week to get there. I'm from New Zealand, they live in America, so it was wild that it literally took a whole week, like a complete 7 days, and they received it. They absolutely love the gifts that I made, and I'm so happy because honestly I poured my heart and soul into it. And so, as I had said in a previous video, once they receive the gift, I will insert the pre-filmed clips that I took showing them off and talking about how I had made them. So I'll be inserting those clips right here, and please enjoy. Hello everyone, this is an insert of Roxy from Monday the 6th of April. I am going to show 3 items that I have completed for a friend. At the time I couldn't share this video because they haven't yet received their parcel with these plushies in it. However, I'm happy to confirm that they have now, so, or at least by the time I put this in a video they would have received it. So I thought I'd share the 3 things that I had made. So I'll start off with the item that is possibly the smallest. Here he is, a little blueberry or blue bird. His name is Kageyama. He is from an anime called Haikyuu. He's the little bird version of him. I actually had finished this on Saturday, just been, and the pattern designer is Kobanely on Instagram. It is a free pattern, however I should note it is in Korean, but luckily they use the standard symbols for amigurumi, so it was pretty easy to figure out. I just had to go in and translate some of the Korean characters. Yeah, it's I made this with a 5mm hook and parfait chunky in black and navy. The eyes is just general, you know, cotton. The safety eyes is 16mm, and he turned out a pretty decent size. I'm quite happy with him. The wings you had to make separately and so on. The hair they instruct you to make like a wig, or you know, separately and then sew it on. However, I don't like doing that, so I just did the technique that I've learned through making other dolls. And the little feet, they also had done a little bit separately. They just embroidered the feet, but I decided to actually make little surface crochet little feeties because they're way cuter. And obviously the nose has just been embroidered on. In total, this little bird took me 3 hours, which is a bit embarrassing. But half the problem was I kept frogging it like multiple times, especially the head portion, because I didn't know how far to go with the black yarn until I had to then change to the navy blue. So I think on a normal day it probably would have actually taken me 2 hours, but because I was modifying the pattern and trying to figure out the hair, because again I made all the strands differently than what the pattern tells you to, it just took a little bit longer, because you know how it is when you modify patterns, it's extra time. But yeah, he turned out very cute. I do think that the little tail feather looks a little bit weird, but you know, it's still cute. He looks very angry little fellow. But I hope the recipient of the little blueberry bird, Kageyama, enjoys it. So next on up is the other two plush that I made for the same recipient as the little bird. This is also from an anime, and these two characters took me a lot longer to finish. You will see why in a moment. Let me try and hold them both up because they are surprisingly quite big. I don't know if I'll be able to fit them both in in frame. Yes, so we have Dubby from My Hero Academia, and we have Hawks. So each of these took me ages. I somewhat used inspiration of two different patterns to make them, or technically three, but two pattern designers, as there isn't actually any designers that has made chunky little plushies like this size and like this for these two characters. Like I said, I use two different pattern designers to kind of create something like this. I will admit, for one of them, I cannot pronounce the name, so I'll definitely have it in the description. But Zikot Amigurumis, sorry, I'm looking down at a little post-it note over here. I had used their base body pattern. It's like a pattern pack that you can get that has I think 4 or 5 different body bases, completely nude obviously, and so you can just go in and go change whatever you wish, do the, you know, color changes wherever you want to. I used the base of the little plushie that's sitting down, and then another amigurumi crochet artist named Emigurumi, or Emmy_Gurumi. They have previously made a Hawks and Derby, but they were more, I guess, acrylic or cotton plush, and or dolls I should say, and they were standing, and obviously the dimensions was very different because they've got long legs. However, I kind of just based off the color changes, how they did it to suit my needs over here. Each of them was made with, I guess, the exact same materials. However, Hawks over here has some extra details that is very different to Dubby, so I'll kind of go over everything that I used and some little extra tidbits of every character. So let's start off with Hawks, since I have him in my hands. The yarn that I used was Honey Bunny, Hobby Honey Bunny. I used a 5mm hook, and the safety eyes are 30mm that I had painted myself with folk art paint. This particular one I used pure gold, the metallic range. Some other interesting things that I used was an acrylic sheet of plastic for the yellow for his aviators, or, you know, sunglasses, or whatever we want to call it. I had also used black wire to create his little headphones. Unfortunately, they just ended up like this. It can be taken off, removed, and put back on, but it's a bit ill-advised because they're quite snug. The jacket is completely removable if you wish. The wings I have also made removable. They're only attached by red bobby pins at this stage, because I figured my friend would want to, you know, undress him put on the wings without a jacket, will want to take off their aviators. So this gives them, yeah, full potential to do that. In short, I worked on the hawks from the 17th of March all the way to the 30th of March. On the 30th I just had to do the extra little details, and I gave him, or I attempted to give him, a little goatee. This is all done with, this was parfait chunky, and I should note also the belt was parfait chunky, and this is just skinny chenille that I had purchased online. And yeah, in total 16 hours and 22 minutes. he really was a labor of love. The hair is what took the absolute longest. It is, I believe, 3 layers. So you have the first layer, second layer, and then you have the third layer, which is both, you know, the filling at the back and also the bangs at the front. I did do some increases in the hair to make it look a little bit curly, because his hair is quite puffy. And yeah, the little jacket I had winged for the most part. I've made many jackets in my crochet life so far, so it wasn't too difficult to figure out. A lot of it was just trial and error to make sure that I got the, you know, the correct length and the correct width as well. And overall I am so happy with him. He is just stinking adorable, and I hope my friend ends up liking him too once she receives him. So next on up is Dubby. A little 360 for you. Very much like Hawks, he was made with a 5mm hook, hobby honey bunny yarn as well. He didn't have any parfait chunky added to him. It was completely honey bunny. The eyes are also 30mm, and I had also painted them with the folk art paint. This one was the metallic aquamarine. And yeah, I just used cotton for just a little bit of detailing on the belt, and obviously his eyebrows, and also you can't really see it, but I do have some silver to do as the staples. And just like Hawks, his jacket does come off if one is inclined to take it off, but I'll leave it on. I did the extra detailing to show it's a ripped jacket. And yeah, he turned out so cute. A lot lighter than Hawks, I will say that much. He's still pretty decent. I made him from the 25th of March all the way until, again, the 30th of March. On the 30th I just added all the little extra detailing that he needed. And he took a lot less time than Hawks because his hair is so much easier. Again, for him particularly, I did 4 layers instead, so I had 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the top hair. Obviously it doesn't look as crazy as his anime counterpart is, but in total Dubby took me 12 hours 35 minutes to make. I'm also really chuffed with him. Yeah, he looks so awesome, and yeah, I'm happy to have made him, even though it took me a lot of time. As for the pattern, it's exactly the same as Hawks. I went off the body base, and then I just used Amigurumi's standing pattern, acrylic patterns, and kind of just looked at it and figured out the color changes in my own pattern. And yeah, overall I really like him. I like both of them, and hopefully my friend or the recipient that receives them will enjoy them just as much. They were honestly such a pleasure to make. And yeah, that's really it. I'll back to present day, I guess. Bye bye. So, welcome back. That's really all that I have for you this week. I was somewhat productive in a way. I have quite a lot to do this week. My hopes is to do all the Ninja Turtle keychains because I want to be done with everything and anything to do with Ninja Turtles. So going to finish off the keychains. I'm hoping to do 2 colors of each two colors of each turtle for the keychain forms that I had showed last week. And then I also want to make start on the Kirby keychains. I want to make 6 of those, so I'm kind of, telling myself those are the only ones. If I do have time, if I manage to finish all of those this week, I will then also like to make a start on my Totoro keychains. I had a few left over from the previous convention, so I'll just do up again however I need to have a six in total, and maybe also make a start on my bigger Totoro plush. I feel in the mood to do some Studio Ghibli things, so I'll do that. However, my crocheting will be cut short this week. I won't be crocheting either Saturday or Sunday because I have a convention, anime pop culture convention that I'll be attending as a spectator or as a cosplayer. So and we'll be there all day, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So there's just not going to be time to crochet or anything like that. However, I did take off for Friday coming, and I also have off on the Monday because it's Anzac long weekend here in New Zealand. So I've got 2 days to kind of make up for the loss of a Saturday and Sunday. But other than that's it. That's everything that I made this week. That's my plans for this coming week. And yeah, hopefully I can keep on trucking along. The 13th of June is coming up really fast, and I'm starting to worry a little bit. But yeah, I'm just going to start ramping up, wake up a little bit earlier, crochet a little bit before I head into work, and also on my weekends wake up also very early, 5 a.m. every morning, and just crank out an hour or 2 before I have to start work at 7. And yeah, that's really it. I will see you next week for the next chicken video. Thank you very much for watching. Please give my video a like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to me. And until next time, catch you later.